The DOJ and NAR being kind of embattled, if you will, has been going on for 40 years or more. So that's nothing new. But I think the issue at hand here is, NAR's position that the DOJ, when it makes an agreement, just like anyone else on the planet, should be held to that agreement. Whereas the DOJ is saying just because they settled or made an agreement before, they never promised that they wouldn't reopen the investigation. Sounds a little bit like double jeopardy to me, or at least that's how NAR feels about it. But a lot of these topics, of course, have been in the news in a really big way. You've got, commission debates in regards to the participation rule with NAR that was settled recently in court. And now you've got a lot of chatter and a lot of talk about the clear cooperation rule, which we actually talked about in last week's news. It's in the news a lot right now. NAR feels like they're probably up against it in a lot of ways, and to be put back up against it by the DOJ, who settled this 4 years ago, is quite frustrating. Citadel's settlement is the latest from the DOJ's Combating Redlining initiatives. That's the Combating Redlining Initiative, which has reached 14 agreements, including $144 million in relief for communities of color since 2021. So in the last 3 years, the DOJ has reached 14 of these and over $144 million for relief. I think in general, we would all applaud the effort to go about making sure that these marginalized communities on occasion have the same access and the same opportunity for home loans and otherwise that anyone else would have. And so it's obviously an initiative that has teeth to it and is producing a lot of results in the way of agreements and millions of dollars for relief for those communities. This is a near and dear story to a lot of folks' heart that are affected by these hurricanes in these areas. And a lot of us maybe that aren't directly affected, but have family, friends, coworkers, and otherwise that are affected in these areas. And, I have no doubt that there's going to be a lot of talk around reform in the insurance industry. Whether it's their fault or not is really not the point. But typically speaking, when stories like this become so big and affect so many, there starts to be talk around how are we going to make sure that these people actually are covered and have insurance to protect them in a case like this, where the cost of insurance has just either become overwhelming or it's not available at all, or even an awareness issue with making sure that people in areas that might not typically be touched by flooding, but were this go around, have options for insurance. So I expect we will see some of that conversation going forward. And as it pertains to the real estate market and how it impacts prices, inventory, and otherwise, we'll continue to monitor it. There's a little bit left of hurricane season. I know a lot of us hope that there are no more, and it probably can't end soon enough for some of those folks that have been hit back to back by these hurricanes.